Are there questions on this application? Is there anything you would like to add, Mr. Davidson? No? Okay, are there questions for our applicant? Pretty straightforward. Okay. Councillor Johnson.
Just a question about your floor plans. So it's there's 2 bedrooms and then like the upstairs is the kitchen, or how is that? Like, is it 2-level kind of, or how are you designing it?
Just use your mic, yeah.
Downstairs will be the kitchen. So.
Okay. Councillor Kopp.
That's probably a question for Shanna Lee. What's the criteria on, because it's just going to be a septic tank. So is there criteria as to what size of tank he needs to put in? Because it's not a field, right? Which would mean it needs to be sucked out periodically, right?
Shanna Lee, please.
Thank you. Yes, there is criteria for the size of tank. The size of tank is based on how many bedrooms are in the building.
Okay. Any other questions? How do you wish to handle the application? Councillor Baumgarten. No.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the development with conditions as per the recommendation.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All in favor of the motion? That is carried. Just the work ahead of you. Thank you so much for coming in. Sometimes we have difficult questions, but we appreciate you coming in this morning, and you're welcome to stay on. Oh, no, you're welcome to stay. I shouldn't have said anything. You might have stayed. We have no other business that I'm aware of. Post-agenda items, there were none. Is there a reason for in-camera? Seeing none, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, Shanna Lee.
Green. Good morning. Thank you for having me. It seems so quiet in here. It's a pretty serious meeting today.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
A lot on the go. Okay.
There's yeah.
I'm happy to start your meeting off with my Fieldman's report then. I've probably told you guys this before, but I plagiarized things from one year to the next when it comes to my report, and you'll note I forgot entirely to change that first sentence. So this is spring of 2025. The snow is all gone. The sun is shining. And it's not shining at all today. But anyways, forgot that. We did start our gopher control programs. We're quite hopeful that they're being effective. We do continually monitor the sites. Oddly enough, we noted our first real gophers coming out March 14th, which was right after that super cold, well, cold enough night, -20. The next day, quite a few gophers were out. So they knew spring was on the horizon. Big rental period for us. We had 2 whole scale rentals go out January and February. So that kept us very busy. We did have some other busy things on the go, though. We made some changes in our department. You guys are not surprised at that by any means, but it just meant that we had to do a lot more interviews, I guess, so that our teams could be picked or hand-picked for their processes. So we're looking forward to a wonderful season. We've got some new faces, some returning faces, and quite excited for that to get going. Environmental farm plans, you know, the big push was last year. Just finished the annual report. We did 37 environmental farm plans last year. And so far, up until today, we've done 2. So we're on track for a very quiet environmental farm plan year. Last year was the first year that it was a requirement for Agri-Invest to have the EFP. And it seems that the people that needed it or wanted it for that process have accomplished that task. But like I mentioned down here below, with Catherine coming back, she's also an EFP tech. So we now have 3 wonderful EFP techs on staff, and I assume people will not choose me if they have the option to go through with an EFP. So that's good. Emerson Bridge Park, we have a new supervisor picked. That was another part of our interview process. So Dorman is coming on with us. We also did a competitive bid process for the pump track, and we've chosen a supplier and the design. It is currently 50% paid for and being built. So shipping takes a minute, or building and shipping takes a minute. This company uses a manufacturer out of the Czech Republic, I believe. So it's got a boat ride to do yet. Had a great startup meeting with the EID this spring. We talked, of course, about our shelter belt projects, current and future, as well as we made some plans for controlling the newly identified pale yellow iris. We've had lots of conversation about that just based on its location. I mean, we've talked a little bit about it on the north side of the Lake Newell shore. The great part about pale yellow iris, or at least the stuff that we've seen, it's not in the water. It's kind of just approaching the water. So the EID does have a special use approval. We're going to be working under their special use approval. Great partnership. We'll start pushing out some information, well, relatively shortly, I guess. What else did we talk about? Oh, and then of course we talked more about noxious weed control on canals and rights of way. We had a wonderful meeting last week that I didn't have wrote in here, but with a Jeepers Creepers, a chemical company. There's a new chemical for downy brome in range and pasture called Rejuvra. So they were very interested in coming up and talking to us about how they can work with producers. So we're going to be pushing some of that information out to the EID as well, just based on how much the work that they do. So, and I did talk to another wonderful producer in the Scandia area about Rejuvra already. So apparently that's been making its rounds. We have a busy summer of hosting things. We are hosting the South Region Weed School again this season. That is usually beginning-ish of June. Austin is organizing that for us again, always does a great job, and we're looking forward to that. We also are hosting the Southern Alberta Grazing School for Women. It's been a minute since that's been in the area. Holly White was the leader of that back in the day, and she's been gone for a few years. So we're happy to have it back. Catherine's going to sit on the organizing, or is sitting on the organizing committee, and encouraging the group to showcase the area and all the wonderful people in it. So I've heard there's a few great speakers from our area, and then I think they got one dud that's going to talk about soil erosion or something like that, but I'm sure he'll do fine. And then, of course, we are partnering with Foothills Forage and Grazing Association on the Pasture Power Up workshop. We're excited to host that on June 24th at the Patricia Hall, and to showcase the results of our herbicide trials to control Canada thistle, downy brome, and buckbrush on pasture. So that is my wonderful report to start your meeting today.
Thank you for the report, Mr. Green. Are there questions? I have one. With regard to the EID partnership on the shelter belts, do they take all the front, they deal with the front end on that?
Yeah, it's the most amazing partnership ever. We do throw them a little bit of cash to help pay for the seedlings and the supplies. And then when Dan needs the labor resources, he just gives us a week's heads up, and we usually send 2 people 2 days a week is kind of the goal. And primarily we do the laying of the mulch and then the maintenance thereafter on the weed control. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Good. Councillor Kopp.
Any tree planting planned by the Fish and Game Association this time?
Yeah, geez, I can't believe I didn't even mention that. May the 9th, I believe, is the date that they're going to do some replacements. Boy, the number is escaping me, but it's north of 200, maybe close to 300 new trees that are going out there. Sorry, at the Aqueduct project. And then there's some other projects that the Brooks Fish and Game have on their periphery, but nothing is set in stone yet.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Hofer.
With that shelter belt project, is that just for the EID purposes in county only, or is that open to anyone that wants to apply for it?
Yeah, great question. The shelter belt program is primarily, it's got a few different purposes. So biodiversity is one. That's the big one for the EID. So they like multi-species, multi-row shelter belts to provide some cover for different animals and wildlife. For the county, we like it for soil erosion. So if we can set up for soil erosion purposes, or animal protection. So perhaps it's around a feed yard or a feed lot. Those kinds of things. There's a lot of research that's gone into the benefits of wind protection in those scenarios, and so those are the reasons we do it. Try to stay out of the realm of acreage purposes, but sometimes they fit if they're a nice border around that can fit both, if that makes sense.
Councillor Holly Johnson, please.
Good morning. I've noted that after those winds, we have some ditches that have a fair bit of soil in them. Is that mostly a South County problem, or is that county-wide with those winds that we had?
Yeah, certainly it's currently more of a South problem. Yeah. The one thing we have learned over the years, soil is very visible this time of year because there's still some snow underneath there. But we have done some inspections and we've had a few conversations already.
Okay. Thank you. In the vein of the shelter belt program and the partnership with the EID, I think I've mentioned this before, but at the AIDA meetings, there was a presentation from Alice, who has presented to us as well. And there was interest in discussions at the board level by representatives that were at that meeting and maybe looking at doing something together. The EID seemed quite interested, and I know that when we discussed it last, managing the front end of that was one of the challenges for us, but if they already do a lot of that kind of thing too, maybe it's something that at some point we initiate an invitation to the Alice group to come and present jointly to us. And have we talked about this before? We have generally, and I'm not rushing the issue, but just if it's on our radar at some point, well, that's probably a good idea, I think. So I know Alice will be interested in that because we had casual conversations about it. So anyway.
Yeah, they've been very interested in setting up a program with us. The trick is the largest benefactor of their programming would be the EID. So without them on board to manage some of those projects, that wouldn't make much sense. So.
No, I agree. I thought that potential part, that seemed to be a new initiative or a concept on their part. So
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Good. Any other questions, Councillor Baumgarten?
Actually, not so much a question, but a comment. Well, most were at the conference last week. I attended a webinar with future plant breeding in Western Canada that Todd and Candace presented some material on behalf of the CDC. So I thought it was very timely and a good thing to include with that. And then just wanted to give kudos to yourself and Candace for putting the word out and making sure people are aware of what's there and the possibilities going forward. So just much appreciated. And I thought it was a good job you guys did.
Yeah, thank you. That was put on by Seed World. And so we got our faces in front of about 300 people that day. So that was a pretty good day.
It's good. Good, thank you. Do we have any other questions or a motion to approve the agriculture field and report as presented? Councillor Baumgarten, please.
I'll move that approval.
Oh, Councillor Holly Johnson, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thanks, Todd. Let's move on to item number 10.1, the appointment of fire guardians. Welcome, Stuart, to our meeting this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me this morning. I apologize. According to our fire bylaw 2100-25, before April 1st of every year, council must appoint a sufficient number of fire guardians to enforce the provision of the Forest and Prairie Protection Act, as well as this bylaw within the boundaries of the County of Newell. You have that in front of you. There are two notable changes from years past. We have within the Rolling Hills area, newly appointed Fire Chief Kelsey Strove. And with the retirement of Kevin Swanson coming in April this year, our Brooks rural area will be managed by Deputy Fire Chief Barry Okiyama until an official announcement is made on who the next fire chief is for that area. By appointing these guardians, we seek cooperation with individuals, governments, organizations providing services in a consistent and efficient manner while promoting open communication between staff, council, and the public. So at this time, the recommendation from Fire Services, Fire and Disaster Services to the County Council is to appoint the following individuals as fire guardians for 2026. For all divisions, the Regional Fire Chief, myself, Stuart Lukes, and my Deputy Fire Chief, Corey Cochran. For Rolling Hills, Chief Kelsey Strove. For Tilly, Chief Robin Daniels. For Patricia, Ray Torkelson. For Dutchess, Chief Greg Witt. For Scandia, Chief Ryan Slenders. For the Brooks Rural Area, Deputy Chief Barry Okiyama. For the Bazzano Fire Area, Chief Logan Rose. For Rosemary, Chief Anton Van Bevel. And for Gem, the Fire Chief Dwayne Clausen. And finally, Bow City, Fire Chief John Ketchmark. In addition to the fire chiefs, the County of Newell administrative staff being the financial clerk, the payroll and benefits administrator, the executive assistant, the planning and development administrative assistant, the fire and disaster services administrative assistant, the municipal services administrative assistant, and the general administrative assistant, the information and technology administrative assistant, and project assistant. And finally, the corporate services supervisor to be appointed as fire guardians for the insurance of fire permits only for 2026.
Thank you for that, Stuart. Are there questions or someone prepared to make the motion which is printed for us in our agenda package? Councillor Johnson.
I am prepared to make that motion, just the way Stuart read it.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate. Okay, that is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Stuart. Let's move on to the appointment of the County of Newell Library Board Councillor, item 10.2. Ariana, please.
All right, thank you. So in the RFD, and it's also echoed in Councillor Skanderup's Library Board Committee report later, I guess they had a meeting with a library legislative advisor from Municipal Affairs, and they also sent us an email notifying us that an election is not a valid way to, like, we had to appoint Councillor Skanderup to the Library Board, so we just need a new motion appointing her as the representative with the end date of the term. So I put October 22nd, 2026, which I believe will be the date of our next organizational meeting. I guess that's it.
Okay, well, it's not in our interest to be out of compliance, so I think we should, unless there's opposition, we should deal with that, I think. Is there a motion? Councillor Christman.
Yes, I will make a motion to appoint Councillor Skanderup to the County of Newell Library Board.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Councillor Kopp, please.
Do we just need to adjust the wording on our organizational meeting chart that when the library board person is elected, we also at that point make the motion to appoint?
Yes, we will definitely make that note for later, with the specified end term as well.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That's carried. It feels a lot better already. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to councillor payment sheets. Any comments or questions about that, or a motion to approve them as circulated? Councillor Kopp?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no other questions or comments, all in favor of the motion, please indicate. That is carried as well. Thank you. As I've said before, I appreciate the work that's done on all of our behalfs in terms of reviewing those records as they come in. Requests for functions of council, number 10.4.1. And I have one that I think we have talked informally about previously, and that is the Local to Global conference that's happening in Vegreville starting on April the 8th to the 10th, I believe, the evening of April the 8th, which would conflict with our April the 9th council meeting. Matt, do you want to just give us the details of an alternative approach that has been worked out if that is our choice?
Sure. So April 9th is typically the big show, final budget. Your tax rate bylaw will be in front of council for first reading. So it may be one of those meetings you don't want to miss if you can make it. We have arranged with our auditor, if council is inclined to send a few attendees up to the Local to Global, they can attend on April 8th. So rescheduling that meeting from the 9th to the 8th is an option for council.
Okay, Councillor Johnson and then Councillor Christman, please.
I will be away regardless, as I'm on a mission trip to Mexico, so I won't be here in any case.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Christman?
And I have meetings all around the 9th, so I will not be able to attend the 8th if you so choose to move the meeting. And that would be the same going forward. I mean, I schedule my meetings 2 months out, so it's going to happen if you continue to make changes to council meeting dates. Just a point of interest.
Yeah, okay, that's fair and understood. I will not be here on the 9th. I think I need to go to the Local to Global as chairman of PEP. PEP is one of the sponsoring organizations of that meeting. Last year it was in Medicine Hat. I think it was a pretty good one to, there's just 2 of us that attended last year, and we certainly thought that more people should attend if we were able to this year. I don't know if you've looked at the agenda. I think it's a pretty interesting agenda. Holly, you were there last year. What are your thoughts on This one?
I really think it is a great value. I think there was some real base knowledge. For example, in terms of the whole electricity grid, nuclear energy, trade with the U.S., trade corridors, really a conference that gave a lot of base knowledge that I think really assisted in understanding some of the developments and issues that come before us. So I highly recommend it.
I don't have the agenda, I haven't looked at it closely, but I think Shane Getson, former speaker Nathan Cooper, who is now the Alberta representative in Washington, is confirmed to be there. Is that right, Matt? So I think it'll be interesting from a trade perspective and from just an exposure. It's up in Vegreville. In any case, whether we have our meeting on the 8th or the 9th, we'll have at least 2 people missing, which is that's not critical for our purposes. But if we were able to move it to the 8th, I would hope that a few more people could maybe attend the local to global conference if there's interest. But Neil?
I think it's good to attend, to get over into the Vegreville area, meet some new people. I'm totally supportive of it being a function of council for as many as we can get there.
And I think, okay, so do you make that motion that it be a function of council? All in favor of that motion, please indicate. Okay, that is opposed. Okay, that is carried with opposition. Now, the matter of whether we change our council meeting is still before us. Do we want to handle that as post-agenda item, or just, we can handle it right here as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead, Neil.
Question, what have we got for quorum? If Kelly's the only one missing, what's the difference?
I think Councillor Holly Johnson will be absent regardless of what the date is.
We're still okay.
And we're okay for quorum either way. I'll be away. I'm attending, I have to attend the local to global conference, I think, because of my responsibilities at PEP. So it's just a matter of, if we want more people to go, we probably need to change our council date.
I'm on board for going too.
Okay. Well, do we have a motion with regard to our council, changing our council date? That's what we would need to do.
That's a motion I'd like to make. Okay. That we change it to the 8th.
To the 8th, okay. Further discussion? Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Chrisman.
So we set our meeting dates a year in advance. I take on extra responsibilities, as all of you do. And we set our meetings around that. This is a precedent that I'm not in favor of. If we're going to juggle for people's agendas and for their, I'm just not in favor of it. I think we need to stick with our meeting dates and be fair to everybody's schedule.
Okay, appreciate your perspective. As the chairman, I'll take direction from council. And certainly when we consider changing, that comes because councillors bring those issues to our table, which is how that should be. So that's absolutely fair, that comment. Go ahead, Councillor Johnson.
Although I recognize changing schedules can be difficult and people do miss things. I mean, our meeting today was changed as well because of potential planning with the emergency management that in the end didn't go through. But I think flexibility is important, and in an age where there is Zoom capabilities and people watching online, I think we have the benefit of being that flexible for good learning ability, good learning conferences, and I think that's fluidity is good to have.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? Councillor Kopp, please.
My question would be is how many would be wanting to attend that conference? So how many would not be here if we choose to leave the council meeting on the 9th? Because Neil has made a motion that it's a function of council, which means we could all go. Mm-hmm. So let's maybe get that sorted and then we'll know.
And we have a motion on the floor to change it to the 8th. So, but we can, in terms of discussion, who is interested in attending the local to global if the date changes? Anyone else? Neil is interested. Anyone else interested? Okay. Okay, so the two of us would be going, it looks like. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion to change our council date to April the 8th from April the 9th, please indicate. And two, hold your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opposed? Okay, that is carried. With opposition, thank you. Next item on functions of council. Are there any other functions of council? Is the Royal Canadian Legion Centenary Honors and Awards Dinner for April the 10th. That's an invitation to attend that. Ariana, did that come? I saw it. It came to me.
You forwarded it to me to put
Right.
on the agenda to discuss.
Okay. Is that in conflict with the local to global? It will be because of the end of the day. Okay, I'm going to suggest that. I mean, let's first take other functions of council. Are there any other functions of council? Sorry?
There is the Blossoms and Ballads Gala on April 26th, or 25th, I should say.
Right. And I think there's, go ahead.
I had asked this earlier. Is this a new event? I don't remember hearing about it, or we just haven't gotten an invitation previously.
Go ahead, Ariana.
I don't know for sure. In my searches, this is the first time I've heard of it as well, so it could very well be the first one. I don't know though.
I think it's a new event where the Rotary Club has partnered with the music festival to raise funds via dinner and gala. Yeah, and there's a sponsorship package attached there too, which they're asking for. So, I'm not sure that's not a function of council unless someone moves that it should be, as far as I'm concerned. I think that there's a different question there. Go ahead, Ariana.
Yes, just to add to that, when she dropped off the invitation and she mentioned that the city of Brooks had purchased a table. Not that that should sway you in any way. We could buy a better table, 2 tables. I don't know. I think
with a bigger sign. Yeah. I think there's 2 issues there. I mean, it could be a function of council, but that's a fundraising initiative that maybe we want to support, and in that case, necessarily, it wouldn't have to be a function of council. I mean, it could be if we want it to be, but we often attend those kinds of events to support without being functions of council. Neil? Or Councillor Johnson, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it, Mr. Reeve. Yeah, I don't mind if we do the sponsorship. It's really not a function of council. Like, it's a
No.
night out for 4 couples.
Yeah, my question is, are there other functions of council? Okay, then we can move on to item number 10.4.1, which is the Royal Canadian Legion Centenary Honors and Awards Dinner. That I will not be able to attend, so someone else needs to. Councillor Chrisman, you're away that day as well? The 10th of April. You're available? Oh, could you attend that on council's behalf? Okay, that's good. That's why that's on there, to make sure that we have somebody.
Just for clarity, it's Zoom meetings that I have booked,
Okay.
so I'm at home.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And going back to the Blossoms Gala, they are asking for a sponsorship. We kind of skimmed over that conversation, I think.
Actually, we haven't had it yet.
Oh.
That's right. It's 10.4.2.
Okay.
Let's move to that now, though. That's timely.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. They are asking for a sponsorship. That's right. What is your thought on that? As indicated, the City of Brooks has purchased a table there. I think My personal feeling is it would be a good thing for us to do. Who has thoughts on that? Councillor Hofer.
I don't mind the sponsorship, but I agree with Neil. I don't think we need to make it a function of council.
No, I'd agree. We haven't made it a function of council. The question is whether we're going to sponsor there, and that typically is whether we're going to purchase a table at some level of sponsorship. Councillor Johnson, please.
I would be in favor of purchasing a table. I would just be curious if there's enough people to attend. We sometimes have problems if we can't find enough people who are free to attend the event.
That said, who would be interested in attending? I would be, but I can go on my own. I don't need. You say kind of far away in terms of date? Okay, so we don't actually, we can sponsor without filling the table too. Councillor Johnson, please.
You did mention silent auction too, which I think we should probably support if we're not going to send people.
Okay, we have a sponsorship chart in front of us. Goes from $800 to a reserved table to up to $3,000 with signage and a few other recognitions. Councillor Chrisman, please.
Well, I don't know a lot about the Blossoms part of it, but the music festival is a heritage program within the community. So I'm considering a motion for a $1,500 a ballot sponsor. That gets us 8 people at a table and a little game to play, it sounds like. And, we don't all have to be councillors at the table. We could have staff there as well. Yeah. Just a thought.
I think that's
so
a good.
That would be my motion.
Okay, appreciate that. Okay, we've got direction, a motion to become ballot sponsors for that event. Any further discussion or ready for the question? I like that motion personally. Thank you for that. I'll call the question. All in favor, please indicate. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. We are up to committee reports. Is that paper circulated? I haven't seen.
It's coming back.
Sorry? Let's take 5 minutes. We've got, I hate to get ahead of ourselves, but it looks like we've got good time this morning. We find ways to use that up, but let's take Meeting and go to committee reports. We have some that have been circulated and printed for us, but we also have the rec board reports from areas 4 and 8. Who's 4? Councillor Johnson? Okay. And also Division 9 as well, one of them. Go ahead, please.
We just had a rec board meeting last night, so my notes are written on a piece of paper, not officially yet. $40,750 was given out by the Division 4 rec board. Rather than let's mention the projects that are happening. Rainier is putting an air conditioner into the hall. Scandi, of course, is finishing our hall, and I will be sending you pictures shortly. It's looking most beautiful. The EID Park, besides having money for repainting the elevator, which is always an ongoing fund, they're working on restoring the foundation for the Bow Slope Historical Building. And Bow City has just refinished the floor in their hall, so they were fortunate enough that that old flooring still had another layer of sanding they could do, so they have a lovely new floor again. And a new project, there's a Scandia Community Enhancement Project, and they're going to be looking at doing some flower beds and refurbishing the Scandia sign, so that's what's happened in Division 4.
Okay, thank you. Division 8. Councillor Hofer, please.
So I did have the meeting with the Ag Society, and the good news is the company Red Deer Canadian Arena Services to do the ice planned rebuild as soon as the ice is out. Specifically, April 1 is the set date if the ice is out at that point. The arena board is also looking for people to run the arena and developing a safety program as they don't have one. I was asked to check with Matt to see if there is a safety program in other arenas within the county and if it's required.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't speak to arenas specifically because the county doesn't run any. I know down in Rolling Hills, Mr. Hemsing was talking about some emergency response planning. That doesn't necessarily tie right into the safety bit. Internally, the county's got a lot of excellent safety documentation that folks are free to rip off, and we're happy to share with folks. If there's a contact who wants to reach out to me directly with some specifics, we can see what we can put them in touch with.
You bet. Thanks, Matt. I'll mention that to Morgan and get him to reach out to you. Also ongoing, the curling rink in Dutchess had 26 teams in its last season. The school uses it 2 days out of the week to get youth into curling. They feel like they had a huge success this season and are looking to upgrade the sound system. The school also started skating option for the arena to utilize the space more regularly. And the hall fire alarm failed, looking to get someone to do the repairs. They also need to replace the air conditioners, and there are 2 of them, and they're seeking funds to do the repairs. So I don't know if they're going to go out and fundraise for that or what the plan is on that one. So, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? I'll just give a quick update. GEM's community meeting was also held last night. I actually was late. I think I said that already, but did attend the meeting and reported on behalf of the county. Things are going well out there. We had 19 people there with a good cross-section of young people and older people, but if 65 makes you a little older because you or get to retirement age, most of the people were younger. So that's a good thing. But just in the context of the discussions we've had, the GEM Community Association seems to be doing well with multiple different reports coming, and they're looking to maybe do something to put a different surface on their sport court. They have a sport court there that doesn't work. It's a very nice sport court with a sport court floor on it, but they need to find a cover maybe so that they can play pickleball out there. So that's one of the things that was discussed, but no real issues. It was good. Let's go on to Regional Emergency Advisory Committee. Dan, please.
Yeah, so actually yesterday, Arno and I attended the emergency response workshop that was referenced earlier this meeting. Our participation was somewhat limited, just more so highlighting the roles of elected officials in terms of emergency response planning, most notably the declaration of let me get this exactly right here, a SOL. A state of local emergency. So we can declare that on behalf of our own, like say it's County of Newell, or you can be a joint one and you can declare it on an adjoining municipality within our region. So that was the larger plan that was worked on by the ex-Pisano CAO. So it is a very robust plan. It was pretty remarkable, the amount of organization and the depth and breadth of the exercise they were doing. They had CPKC, the railway there. It was a derailment situation that they were modeling and responding to. So they had all the related agencies in the room and interacting together. So it was good to see, and a lot of prep going in and a very robust plan, which is comforting knowing that when stuff goes sideways, it's good to know that things are thought out ahead of time, and a lot of the, okay, what do I do now? Questions are answered up front. So just wanted to give an update on that respect.
Thanks for that, Dan, and I'd agree with what you're saying. It was really encouraging to see a really solid cross-section of our staff from all of the municipalities, but also business. ATCO was there. The law enforcement was there. We had it was good to see, and I think the other thing I'd say that it should, in terms of emergency management, it should make us feel confident. And I think one of the things that I just add that I think we heard there too is again, that kind of a circumstance speaks to how important it is for us to work together and for the harmony that we see within our organization too. I think that can't be overstated, because the stories are always of someone who's out of their position or out of scope on something like an emergency situation. And as elected officials, I feel confident and positive in the fact that these things are being planned for in our area, because in an emergency things can go wrong. It's an emergency, well stated that way, but I think if things are planned for, the possibility of a positive outcome has greatly increased. So I would agree. Thanks for the report. Any questions? I don't think we have any other committee reports. Any questions or comments on any of the ones, the committee reports? Go ahead, Councillor.
Yeah, I have one report to add on to that.
Go ahead.
If I could. It's the newly named Rural Brooks Area Recreation Board, which services Castle's, Neil's division, my division, which includes the Silver Sage. So we had our meeting back on Thursday, March 12th, and there was a total of let me just go back to my report here. A total of 92,585. There was some carryover from the previous year able to be given out. The Lake Newell Resort, there was approved for $13,210 for some basketball standards. The Lake Newell Resort Park and Beach maintenance, $12,000. The Silver Sage Ag Society, $26,000. That was for just some upgrades to some storage and bar type of paraphernalia that was needed. And then the Castle's Community Center, $23,015 was awarded, and that was for some cupboards and electrical and things. So total was less than what was, there'll be a carryover to next year. Total was $74,225.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councillor Copp, please.
So does that board only disperse once a year? Like they only disperse funds once a year?
Go ahead.
Yes, once a year we have a meeting. The different user groups in the area provide the applications, and then we have the year. Councillor Johnson, and myself all sit on that board.
Okay, Councillor Chrisman, please.
I asked of that board one other time about follow-up and receipts being provided. Is that happening now as a practice going forward?
Yeah, from what I know, all the funds are dispersed by the county. So receipts are, and I'd like to just confer with the CAO that receipts are provided. Money isn't distributed unless there are proper receipts.
Okay, thank you. That reminds me, I missed it with the report. As the Division 9 representative, I'm also representing the county in the Rosemary area, so I'm on the Rosemary Ag Society, so they meet monthly. And they do have an Ag Society fundraising dinner and auction on April the 11th at 5:30 in Rosemary, so anyone who can make it to that is welcome. And if you can't make it, just send me your bids, and I can take care of everything for you. It'll be painless. Okay, thank you. Okay, are we ready to go in camera? I think we've come, someone make a motion that we move in camera? Councillor Kopp, all in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Okay, we have a public hearing commencing right now. So could I have a motion from someone on council that we move into a public hearing? Councillor Kopp, all in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. And with that, we will, Maria, would you take us through the details of this, please?
You bet. Thank you. The purpose of this application is to redesignate a portion of the Northwest of 1914 from Agriculture General District and Industrial General District to Residential Rural District. The subject property is in Division 7, just outside of the city of Brooks. The applicant would like to separate the residents from the industrial and the agricultural lands. So there is an industrial scale solar facility on this parcel, as well as a little bit of ag land. So in order to separate the residents from the remainder, the subdivision authority bylaw states that the authority may only approve one subdivision on an unsubdivided quarter section of land within the agriculture general land use district. And because there are 4 parcels out of this quarter section already, the land use amendment is required. We have not received any objections from the referrals, not from adjacent landowners or referral agencies. The subdivision was approved by the Municipal Planning Commission on February 26th. Should no objections be heard at the public hearing, administration is recommending that council give second and third reading, and the applicant is here. Thank you.
Thank you. And just for the details, this is a public hearing, so we're here to hear from the public. This is not our discussion time, and we will invite anyone from the public to speak to this who has an interest in doing that. Is there anyone electronically wishing to speak to this, Catherine? Seeing none, we could move out of a public hearing. Are there? Well, not from us. This is a public hearing. We're here to hear from the public. We have there's no input from the public today. So, at council's direction, we'll move out. Councillor Screever, please.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to move out of public hearing.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks to the. Thanks for coming in today. So let's now move to bylaws. Go ahead, number 8.1. Go ahead, Maria, please. For bylaw 2113-26. Right? Go ahead.
Thank you. This is the bylaw that was just presented for the public hearing. Right. And now if council would have any questions for the applicant or any questions for me. Right. We are recommending second and third reading.
Right. We are recommending and considering second and third reading. So this is the point at which council is invited to ask the applicant questions if you have some. Councillor Chrisman.
For staff, did we receive anything from public as it was advertised?
No, this was circulated to all the adjacent landowners, the city of Brooks, as this is in the IDP area, and required referrals, and we did not have any objections or comments come back.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Chrisman, please.
Just to make a motion for second reading of this bylaw.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions or comments, all in favor of the motion to approve second reading, please indicate. That is carried. Similarly, we need a motion for third reading. Councillor Kopp. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thanks. Yep. Let's move to item 8.3, bylaw 2124-26, land use amendment. Go ahead, Maria.
Thank you. The purpose of this application is to redesignate a portion of the northwest of 6, 1914, and a portion of the southwest of 6 from Agriculture General District to Agriculture Small Lot District. The lands are in Division 7, and they're just west of the city of Brooks. They're also within the IDP area within the city. And access to the proposed parcel and the remnant parcel are from Range Road 15-0. The applicant would like to subdivide a portion of the northwest of 6 and consolidate it with, it's an existing lot, pivot corner, I guess, within the southwest of 6. So this subdivision is the second subdivision out of the northwest of 6, 1914. And the subdivision authority bylaw allows for the second subdivision out of a quarter section zoned agriculture, but only if the parcel is between 1.21 and 2.83 hectares. So the applicant is requesting the subdivision of 3.68 hectares to be consolidated with the southwest of 6. So the final lot would be 15.9 acres. The land use amendment is required to change the land use from agriculture general to agriculture small lot to allow for the subdivision. It is recommended that first reading be given to bylaw 2124-26. There is a house on this property, but the applicant has indicated that they are wanting to just run a few cows on this, and they're not sure that it will be utilized for a residential property at this time. However, that is an option. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there questions, comments? Councillor Holly Johnson, please.
I'm not clear why they're doing this. What's the benefit from taking these, like it's different quarters, right? They're putting it together in one. So what is the benefit?
Go ahead, Maria.
So this is maybe a little bit unclear, but this is the property line, and this northwest of 6 is a full quarter. So they're wanting to take this corner out of that quarter, and it also has the house and a bit of a residential property, and consolidate it with this corner that is already subdivided. Or it's already, this used to be a EID canal that ran along here. So this corner is actually part of this quarter section, but it's kind of on its own. So they're wanting to take this residential property out of the farmland and then consolidate it so that there's only one parcel. Making it only one parcel would make it essentially a boundary line adjustment that takes the discussion of municipal reserve out of the equation as well.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kopp.
By it being a larger parcel, that's what allows it to be the ag small lot then as well, right?
Go ahead.
In discussions with the applicant, because they're not sure if it's going to be a residential property, the idea is that they are going to sell it, and the buyer is looking to just have some cows on there. So it is too small too large in this sense to be agriculture, too large to be residential, so that agriculture small lot allows for agricultural uses. It does mean that this parcel cannot be subdivided further without another land use amendment. So if they wanted to down the line split it into 2 or 3 lots, let's say, then at that point it would have to become residential.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Chrisman.
My question is the bow. Is that going to be an actual bow on the top half of that subdivision? It is.
Councillor Maria, please.
It's a pivot, so that follows the pivot line.
So the other one is also a pivot, and it is not a bow. So that is my point. This is interesting.
Okay, I think there's an extra. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you're right. So this is actually the property line already existing. This is a different owner. So this used to be a canal, which was a straight line, and that property line runs straight already. So that won't have to be surveyed. It's all the property lines proposed here for the northwest of 6 that would be new.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Chrisman.
So to my point, if they started the angle at the old ditch bank and went north, well, I'm assuming it's north, it may not be north. If they went up, the bow would be gone.
Go ahead, Maria.
Okay, so so there's the house right here. So they're trying to maintain a setback here as well. However, that is something that could be looked at when they submit their subdivision application.
The zoom in made a difference.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Or someone prepared to make a motion that we give this bylaw first reading? Councillor Kopp.
I'll make the motion for first reading.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. I would entertain a motion that we move back in camera. Councillor Chrisman, all in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you.